The war of words escalates between the Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party over the lateral recruitment scheme. The opposition and also leader of the opposition in Parliament, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, has launched a fresh attack against the Prime Minister and his team, accusing them of undermining constitutional values. This comes after the Union Public Service Commission circulated an advertisement seeking applications for talented and motivated Indian nationals for lateral recruitment to the posts of Joint Secretary, Director and Deputy Secretary in 24 ministries of the Union Government. As many as 45 posts have been advertised for experienced individuals from the state and UT governments, research institutes, PSUs, universities and the private sector. The advertisement also states that all posts are suitable for persons with a benchmark disability. Rahul Gandhi has claimed that this move favors recruits linked to the RSS and is an attempt to bypass the Union Public Service Commission. Opposition parties have all come out blazing, all guns blazing against the government's decision for not having any reservations for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other backward classes candidates in lateral entry into the bureaucracy. Listen into some of the reactions.
तो ये तो मैं 1000 बार कह चुका हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी आरक्षण विरोधी पार्टी है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरे देश में पिछड़ों का, दलितों का, आदिवासियों का आरक्षण खत्म करना चाहती है।
गांधी लगातार कहते आए हैं कि 90 सचिवों में से सिर्फ 3 ओबीसी हैं या रिजर्व कैटेगरी के हैं, तो उनकी बात सही थी। और जो हम लगातार चुनाव में भी उठा रहे थे कि साहब ये संविधान बदल देंगे, तो देखिए शुरुआत तो ऐसे ही होती है, बैकडोर से संविधान बदलना शुरू कर दिया है इन्होंने।
Now here's what government sources claim. Concept of lateral entry was first introduced under the UPA government. It was strongly endorsed by Second Administrative Reforms Panel. Reforms were recommended by Veerappa Moily-led panel, and the suggestions to introduce professionals from various sectors was made at that time, and it emphasized the importance of merit-based selection process. The system needed to hold lateral entrants accountable for work, but the scheme was formally introduced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So they made the recommendations. They said this is how it should be done. We've implemented it. That's what the government sources are telling us. Now let's first tell you about this entire lateral recruitment scheme. In Feb 2017, Niti Aayog presented its 3-year action agenda. The induction of personnel at management levels in central government was proposed. Lateral entrants would be part of the central secretariat. It will be a contract of 3 years extendable to a total term of 5 years. The rationale was to help bring in fresh talent, lateral entrants bringing in new expertise and a fresh perspective in government departments, and that the position was open. First vacancies for lateral entrants were advertised in 2018. Joint Secretary level, Director level and Deputy Secretary level. So 15 years of experience, 10 years of experience, and at the Deputy Secretary, 7 years of experience. The appointments have taken place in 2019 and in 2023. Total about 63 appointments via lateral entry in the last 6 years, and at present there are 57 lateral entrants who occupy positions in ministries. So many of whom will be completing their 3 or 5 year contractual terms based on whether they've got an extension or not. So let's get into the whole story. Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate with us, Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst with us. My namaste and Jai Hind to our two guests. Thank you very much. Where is the opposition here, Tehseen? What's the problem?
The problem is that we already see that under this government, SC, ST, OBCs don't get their due. Pick up any state and let's have the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let your viewers who are watching the show live Google, say for example Uttar Pradesh. Let's see how many commissioners of police or SPs of district are from the SC, ST, OBC community, and you'll get the answer. How many DMs are? Let's look at courts where government doesn't have a role. How many Chief Justices of India have been from the SC community? Let's look at high courts presently. How many SC, OBC Chief Justices are there? And it's not that they aren't in courts. Let's look at central universities. How many Vice Chancellors in reserve posts are from the SC, ST community? Where there already exists reservation or chance of equality, there they don't get their due. Now with lateral entry, they are absolutely not going to get their due. The current SEBI chairperson, a lateral entry, you saw what she did. And let me ask you let me just make one last point. Actually, people have, because I'd gone to court against the EWS reservation, which Baba Saheb Ambedkar was against. Actually, what privileged people are doing are going on leave without pay, showing their salaries below the 8 lakh rupee mark and taking advantage of that reservation. That is the problem. The justice to our SC, ST, OBC citizens is not going through, and this is yet another example to marginalize the already marginalized who don't have a pie in the development of India.
Ishkaran
A share
Bhandari.
in the pie.
Anand, it's an unfortunate reality that people will oppose any good measure for politics, even though it benefits India. Let's deal with this. Firstly, this lateral entry aspect of this. There are fields like cyber communication. There are fields like cryptocurrency. There are fields, or one second, I'll just come to something different. The top 5-6 companies in the world today are operating in fields where any pre-2000 IAS officer may not have even studied. Be it Apple, be it Google, be it Tesla, be it Nvidia, be it AI which is coming, be it cryptocurrency, be it cybersecurity. And we have to compete with the world for Bharat to be strong. And that is a question mark on whether an IS itself alone, because of a colonial system, will deal with all these subjects, or government occasionally can have lateral entry into these domains which are expert domains and may not be suitable for a career bureaucrat to deal with it. There was a time when Congress used to be sensible, when it had lateral entries, no less than Dr. Manmohan Singh, no less than Dr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia, no less than in 2005 suggesting this is the way forward. But then they suffered electoral losses, and they realized that by stoking resentment in people, they may come to power. So even though it benefits India, even though every appointment by the government has to be as per the reservation policy as it applies on contractual services, these are contractual services for 3 to 5 years, as it applies if it's a single post, as it applies to disability, and whether there are any errors in how it is appointed. We recently had a case of Pune where there are allegations that disability certificates have been forged in an IAS election. So those are a separate issue, whether somebody is showing less income or somebody is forging certificates. That has to be dealt, and that has to do with IAS itself. That is not to do with lateral entry. So errors exist in that system also. What is the end game the government is wanting? Very simply, there are certain fields where it needs experts from the private sector as well as PSUs. Those experts for 3 to 5 years will benefit Bharat and will enable it to compete with other nations which are having domain experts. That is all that has been done. But because of vote bank policy, Congress is going back on its earlier stands when it has had lateral entry, on its earlier stand when it recommended that this should be done in 2005. All BJP is doing what any sensible nation will do. New technologies, AI has just come in. I don't think so even you, me, anybody sitting here on IAS officer would be very proficient with AI. So they have to have domain experts or India will be left behind. So if we don't want India to be left behind, we have to have the best person in the job in the paradigm in which our constitution exists, and they should stop trying to divide society or stop trying to fearmonger to protect India from developing to its fullest potential.
Tehseen Poonawalla, I have a very simple question to ask you.
Sure.
When it comes to capabilities which are perhaps not there in the current government system, that's why someone like a Bimal Jalan or a Montek Singh Ahluwalia, Ishkaran Bhandari took their name. Even Ram Rajan, all of them are lateral entries, including Sam Pitroda, V. Krishnamurthy. They are all lateral entries who came. Were they brought in because of their caste, because their identity, or because of their ability? In these cases, would you want meritorious people to come, or would you want to look at the surname first and not the qualification and the body of work?
Why do you think, Anand, with humility, that somebody from the SC, ST, OBC caste cannot be qualified? So if we, I'm not against lateral entry, but why can't we, Anand?
Please come.
Why can't we have why can't we have a reservation? Why can't we allow them to come in as well? We will not allow that. Where there already exists constitutional provisions. For example, if everybody is a professor in a university, why is it that there is no SC, ST equivalent to their population as vice chancellors in central government universities? Because they don't break the glass ceiling, or chief justices. Let me ask that question. Not even blame the government, because they don't break it. They don't have a share in the pie where there is already a reservation. Now, let me ask. This government has already been doing lateral.
I didn't want to interrupt you. Just allow me a 10-second intervention.
This government's already been doing lateral entry. How many of them are from the SC, ST,
but
OBC
just allow me a small intervention.
Please.
Should this be should you look at a person based on their ability or on their surname, sir? How does it matter what that person's background is? I don't care what their surname is. I just want a good person, a person with domain expertise. Gender doesn't matter, caste doesn't matter, ability matters. Can you contribute? And what are they saying? They are saying if you want to come at a joint secretary level, you should have worked for 15 years. You may be from a PSU, from a state government, from a private company, wherever. If you want to serve the country, apply. If you follow the credits, if you follow the, if you meet the parameters, and if you're accepted, you're accepted. I'm not looking at a caste prism at all. I'm looking purely on a merit prism. Ideally, wouldn't you want everybody to have an equal chance? Isn't that the whole aspect of this whole reservation, that everybody should get an equal chance? Somebody with 15 years of experience is already there. He already has 15 years of experience. They're not looking, it's not their first job. Tehseen.
Again, let's again take the example of all the SPs in the state of Uttar Pradesh. They all have similar tenures, similar experience, similar to the IPS Uttar Pradesh service exam, and yet people from the SC, ST, OBC communities are not SPs of district. They get sideline posting only from particular caste BJP appoints. Why? That is the problem. If you're all equal, why don't they pick the caste?
Sir, this is under UPSC and
if you're all professors, please allow me.
Yeah, please come.
If you're all professors, why aren't you vice chancellors? Similarly, the lateral entry taken in by this government. Now, Ishkaran mentioned Montek Singh Ahluwalia, Manmohan Singh Ji. They are all from minorities. Why doesn't this government get anybody from SC, SC, OBC? Look at the lateral entry. Look at, for example, the SEBI chairperson. She came from a private sector. Today, look at what she was up to. She was hand in glove. Instead of an IS officer, she was hand in glove. Are you going to call her meritorious?
One minute. You are opening yourself to libel and defamation because charges against her are not proved and the matter is sub judice. We don't take responsibility of what you say and say it with proof. And you please say it with proof. And what you are saying, you are only liable to this because you are making an insinuation, an allegation against a person who has a spotless record. And there is a deliberate attempt to defame her. That's the allegation. That's their counter. Let that matter be decided by the courts. Ishkaran Bhandari has a counter, but I just want to read this out. The Government of India has established guidelines to ensure lateral entries do not compromise the quota and reservation system. Department of Personnel and Training, DOPT, OM number 36012/11/2016. This order states that lateral recruits must adhere to reservation roster and maintain the prescribed ratio for SC, ST, OBC, PWBD candidates. This then gets extended, dated 15th of January 2019. This order clarifies that lateral recruits are subject to the same reservation criteria as regular recruits. Again, on 22nd October 2019, this order is further underlined and says that the reiterates lateral entry should be in accordance with the reservation policy and roster maintenance. So, the DOPT has already issued these notifications to ensure that lateral entries are done. So, why till 2019? Because whenever the recruitments were done, those periods, 2016 and 2019 were when the recruitment have been done. Now, their 3-year or 5-year contracts are coming to an end. So, there will be another notification that will come from the DOPT. The DOPT will tell the respective ministries maintain the quota. This notification already hai, Ishkaran. So now, if this notification is already there, then what are you making a whole noise about? Yes, Ishkaran.
Anand, one shot. Tehseen, it's my turn now. You have had your say. Tehseen, you have had your say. It's my turn now. You have had your say. Let me now make my point because I want to fact check you on certain aspects.
Sure.
Tehseen, I wish you were not making an ideological point, but you were sticking to facts to say because somebody was a lateral entry, they are corrupt and allegedly corrupt, and if it was an IS officer, they wouldn't have been corrupt. Do you want me to read out lists of IS officer facing corruption charges or convictions in this country? What sort of an argument is that an IS officer may not be corrupt or a person from private sector may be corrupt? Please don't believe in big government so much when it's demonstratively against the facts. Read Prevention of Corruption Act and see the nth number of convictions of government officers under it. Some of them are corrupt, some of them are not. Some of the people in private sector are corrupt, some are not. So please do not make ideological points which are divorced from facts. Now coming to the second aspect of it. And I started in the debate by saying that reservation laws are well developed in this country. People approach courts daily. So as they are applicable in the facts and circumstances of this case, and you have read out certain notifications, they will be applied because they have to be applied. Otherwise, people will go to court and get orders from the court if they are not applied as they exist, and it's very well settled in this country. The third aspect which we have to deal is, because now a minority card has been played. Till now, nobody on this debate had seen Dr. Manmohan Singh, at least in the economic field, as an extremely competent person, or Dr. Monte Ahluwalia as a competent person. But now, because the minority card has been played, then was Congress at that time doing appeasement politics to bring in minority? And then that Prime Minister came and said the first right on resources belongs to minority. Where will we take our nation if we make these sort of arguments? The best person must come in small jobs, which are jobs for which IAS may not be the best person to do. So please, in certain aspects, leave politics aside and think sometimes for the benefit of Bharat.
Yeah, okay.
And last point, because I don't have the list of SPs of UP.
Yeah, sure.
Please tell me the list of SPs of various states ruled by Congress. Was the chief secretary from SC/ST community? When the Congress was in power, was the cabinet secretary? Was the principal secretary of which community? Because these debates, if you want to do, then first come with clean hands. Come with Rajiv Gandhi's statement on this. Come with Jawaharlal Nehru's statement on reservation. At least come with clean hands. Don't just try to divide society to get certain political benefits.
Right. One line is
May I
what you
please,
want to say,
Alam,
Tehseen. Yeah.
Of the 89 current entries in the union government, just 3 are STs and 1 is SC. I'm not even talking about OBC because they didn't qualify. 3 are STs, 1 is SC. Number
Who are you
2 in the
quoting?
lateral.
Who are you quoting?
I'm-
This
I'm
89 people.
The government, government quote. I'm quoting. I'm quoting.
No.
I'm
So which
the
batch?
government
No.
argument.
One minute. All these officers are from which batch?
But they are from previous batches. They are previous.
No. Which batch?
I'm getting into SC and ST.
No. I am saying which
Prior to
batch?
92.
From
Prior to 92.
So from when was SC/ST quota and reservation UPSC and IAS came in?
Much before.
No. Which year? No. Which year?
Sir, one second.
Which year? So then you know the answer and you're still making an argument. When they are all before the time that reservations actually came into this, those subsequent batches are going to come into effect only now.
OBC, my friend. That's for OBC. I'm talking about SC, SC. That is reservation since 1940-51. Can you please allow me to finish?
Okay.
I'm not talking about OBC. I'm talking about ST and SC. I know the OBC answer. I know that's BJP's defense. That's not what I quoted.
It's not a defense. That's a reality. It's fact.
Yes, but I'm talking about ST and SC. I was not talking about OBC.
The other thing.
Now,
Okay. We have run.
In 2019, just one line.
Yeah.
In 2019, Dr. Jitendra Singh, answering to Parliament, said of the total lateral entry that they took in 2019, despite the reservation being there, they got none from the SC/ST. He's answered Parliament in that.
Yeah, they
Why?
got none.
Because nobody capable.
Yes. If they are not capable, if they don't meet the classification, you can't say it is bias. I'll tell you what has happened today. Till date, sir, I respected Dr. Manmohan Singh and I still do as one of the foremost economists and thinkers and somebody who took the nation to a path that we should have been right since the 1950s. He did that in the 1990s along with P.V. Narasimha Rao. Today, sir, you have put that lens of a minority and a Sardar there. You looked at him as a Sardar and a minority. I looked at him like the rest of the nation as an economist and someone who did yeoman service to this country. That's what the difference is, sir. So whose vision is colored? That's the answer you have to give to yourself. Yeah, you have to give that answer. Today, sir, you have reduced Dr. Manmohan Singh and his contribution to a minority and a seat. That's what you have done. We always held him in high